Hello and welcome to the News Mongolia on MNB World. It's Wednesday, June the 16th. I am Batsir Namshir. And for our top stories, daily record of 2,395 cases confirmed on Wednesday. The Golden Gear International Film Festival launches online. Mongolian film 6 Feet filmed and screened in the US. For other news, stay tuned. At today's press briefing, the Ministry of Health reported a daily record of 2,395 COVID-19 cases. Yesterday, the daily record was 2,386. Today's case number is higher by 9 cases.
On Wednesday, after testing around 13,600 people, 2,395 new cases were confirmed. The state's tally is now 83,128. As of today, Mongolia's recovery rate stands at 71%. The total number of deaths has reached 389. Also on Wednesday, Ulaanbaatar saw the highest number of cases with 1,750. 644 cases were confirmed in provinces. When it comes to an age group breakdown, there were 337 COVID-19 cases among the 30 to 34-year age group, which was the highest number among today's confirmed cases. Studies show that most of them haven't received the first or second shots of the vaccine. Also, there were 561 children between the ages of 0 and 17 who were infected. Researchers found out most of today's children's cases were infected in the home environment. In other words, they were infected by adults in their family. Currently, Mongolia is leading the Asia-Pacific area by its COVID-19 cases per million people. But there's some good news today. A 99-year-old has successfully recovered from COVID-19 in Ost province. She suffered from difficult health conditions, but after many days of hospitalization, she regained her health. The current global tally for COVID-19 cases is over 177 million, with 3.8 million fatalities.
The National Statistics Office made their report on the first quarter of 2021. Compared to last year, the average monthly salary per employee increased to 1.3 million Mongolian tugrus, which is around $450. In the first quarter of 2021, the data shows that the average monthly wage increased by 55,000 Mongolian tugrus compared to the same period last year and reached 1.3 million Mongolian tugrus. But the average monthly salary is quite different depending on which economic sector you are employed in. The mining sector has the highest amount of monthly wages, with 3.4 million Mongolian tugrus. On the other hand, hospitality, housing and dining services provide the least amount of monthly wage to their staff, with about 775,000 Mongolian tugrus.
In the first quarter of 2021, the monthly wage increased to 1.3 million Mongolian tugruk compared to last year's first quarter. But if we compare this number to the fourth quarter of 2020, wages actually were reduced by 1%, or 13,000 Mongolian tugruk. The public should keep in mind that these numbers of the average monthly salary are before tax.
The first quarter report of 2021 also showed monthly wage increases specifically related to gender compared to the first quarter of 2020. For male employers, the salary increased from 1,370,000 Mongolian tugrus to 1,460,000 Mongolian tugrus, while for female employers, the wage increased from 1,140,000 to 1,158,000. Today we are highlighting a story of a promising young Mongolian weightlifter. Bilik has updated the Mongolian women's weightlifting record 48 times in her ongoing sporting career. She has qualified for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and is currently in training. Bilik started lifting weights when she was just 14. Today she is 22, but she has already become Mongolia's first female weightlifter who holds the international sports master title. She even updated Mongolian women's weightlifting records 48 times.
Constant growth is crucial for any athlete, so I always aim for breaking the record and push myself further during my training. I first started weightlifting just as my leisure activity. Then it became my whole life.
According to Bilik Saihang, weightlifting boosts one's endurance. Currently, she holds many important titles, including double Asian champion in weightlifting and double World Cup champion. As a young athlete, she plans to compete in many more competitions. Her family gives her full support in her athletic endeavor.
At the age of 22, my daughter has received the Red Banner of Labor Award. But I believe the greatest honor is to keep the love and trust alive which has been given to her from the public.
Bilik Saihang has been diligent and hardworking since her childhood. She was born to be an athlete. Her character is calm and poised. That's why weightlifting really suits her. Bilik Saihang has qualified for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. At this moment, she's doing her training in the countryside. Not only the Olympics, but also Asian and World Championships are waiting for her towards the end of 2021. You're watching News Mongolia on MNB World. Now let's take a look at currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at current affairs in Mongolia.
The 9th edition of the Golden Gear International Film Festival launches online from June 18th to 20th. Golden Gear is Mongolia's second largest film festival that has been running since 2013. Due to pandemic restriction, the 9th edition is going to be held online and open to the public. Through the film festival, the organizers aim to bring a new way of movies to Mongolian cinemas, support local filmmakers, bridging them with international artists, and promote the best domestic films internationally and introduce the best international films to viewers. The 9th edition of the festival consists of several sections including International Competition section, screening of the best 2020 and 2021 feature films, 2020 winners of the Digicon 6 Film Festival, Mongolian Film Heritage screenings, and the Mongolian Public Media Art 2021 display. The opening film of the festival will be Lynx, which is the first Mongolian short film screened at the Cannes Film Festival. The feature film screening section includes the Mongolian film Hurt, which won the Best Medium-Length Film Award at the 2020 Amsterdam Film Festival. In the international competition section, 16 international films were selected from 321 films of 51 countries. It's the first time that more than 50% of the selected films are Asian films. At the end of the festival on June 20th, the winners of the international competition will be announced. The Golden Gear Film Festival put much focus on improving film education and filmmaking skills for professionals and film lovers. 2 master classes on making short films and making animations hosted by international professional filmmakers will be broadcast live through the festival's Facebook page. Showing a variety of screenings and education programs, the 9th Golden Gear International Film Festival will be held online from June 18 to 20th. All festival programs will be available for free on the Look TV's movie library.
The general entrance exam will be held on July the 1st to 4th nationwide. This year, over 40,000 high school graduates registered for the exam. The general exams will be organized under strict COVID-19 measurements. For instance, around 20 to 25 exam takers will enter one classroom. If an exam taker has a suspicious symptom like an over 37 degrees body heat, he or she will be isolated in a special classroom and can continue taking the exam. But COVID-19 positive students will not be allowed to take the exam from their isolation houses. Those who have recovered from coronavirus and have spent a further 10 to 14 days under observation are allowed to enter the exam centers. A total of 48 exam centers will be operated nationwide on exam days, and 25 of those are in Ulaanbaatar city. Most of the exam takers this year have been preparing themselves at home because of the coronavirus restriction. Some say they feel somewhat anxious because they haven't taken proper in-class training. A total of 10 tests in 10 different subjects will be taken during the exam days. Mongolian filmmakers in the US premiered a movie titled 6 Feet. The filming was done during the pandemic. The story is about COVID-19 discrimination against Asians in the US.
6 Feet is directed by Chin-Ho and produced by an US-based actor, Botwater. The film tells the story of how the pandemic affected different ethnic groups and families and hardships faced by Mongolians in the US.
In this great country of the USA, there are only a few Mongolians. Through this film, we depicted how Mongolians strongly bonded with each other and how they can adapt to any circumstances.
The filming was done during the pandemic restrictions in 2020. It wasn't easy for the film crew to find filming locations and make arrangements.
6 Feet is not only about talking social distancing. It also implies respect for one's private space. When this space is invaded, the possible damage is depicted in our film. Also, human greed and human nature is the subject we focused on. I collaborated with director Chin-gun many times before. This is the first time we worked on a feature film together. Also, it's my first role. I'm happy that I worked in a film created by Mongolians.
The starring roles are played by Mongolian actors Siling and Botwater, and international actors Brian Lopez, Charles Smith, and Ed Sides. 6 Feet is director Chin-gun's 7th feature film. The film premiered in Arlington, Virginia on June 12th.
Following this, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the world's major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you on Thursday with more news and updates. Goodbye.